Okay, let's see here. I got this phone jacked up. Ain't gonna mess with that. I talked about this once before and I pissed off a whole lot of people. So I gotta be careful how I say this. I've known a lot of people with cancer. Okay. I had my one uncle had it was lymphoma years ago, and he actually survived it. Went through all the treatments to cut all his neck out and everything. But I have had a lot of customers, a lot of people that have died, been affected, this kind of thing. But not my immediate family. Ours is strokes, heart attacks, and grandma had Alzheimer's and all this stuff. Not a lot of cancer. Thank God. But I've known a lot of people with cancer. And I said this once before, and that's probably a little harsh when I said it, but if you see a lot of people here online on like YouTube who are dealing with cancer. And I don't know if I'm seeing more people with cancer or it's just because I'm on YouTube and there's more people you have contact with that are dealing with cancer. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, this happened just recently. His grandfather had cancer 6-7 years ago. And they went in, I think they cut it out. I think they also did some radiation treatment or something or other, something like that. And it made him pretty sick. He recovered from it. At the time, he was in his early 70s. And then since then, they go, frequent checkups. And this last year, they everything's good. He goes in for a checkup. They take a scan or something. They find a spot somewhere, and they said, "We don't like this spot, and so we think we need to do something preventative. We either go in and cut it out, or do a treatment, something like that." At this point, he's 80 years old. His blood work was fine. He was feeling fine. Nothing was blocked. Nothing was being. Everything was functioning. Had no one told him he had this spot, he never would have known. At least not at this stage. Nothing but no red flags, no pain, nothing like that. And doctor says we need to do this, that, or the other thing. And he didn't want him to cut it out, so when they had one of the treatments where they we could call it chemo or radiation or whatever, one of those. I think it was radiation. Some of his family members said, "Don't do it. You're 80 years old. There's nothing wrong with you except it's a spot. Write it out. It may not do anything." He went ahead and said, "Nah, I'm going to get it taken care of." He had the treatment. Made him pretty sick. He picked up an infection through this at the hospital, whatever, during one of his treatments or something. He picks up an infection, and long story short, it kills him. 80 years old, totally beaten down by this treatment, and it just doesn't have the immune system to fight this. Antibiotics didn't help, whatever, and it killed him pretty quick. So the crazy thing is, cancer did not kill him. The cancer treatment killed him. And people say, "Oh, you're being hard." Well, but it's a fact. The cancer did not kill him. If he did not have that treatment, most likely he would still be here talking about it today. So a cousin of his, years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago now, had cancer. The doctors did what they could do, and they told him, we can't get your things in order, because this is it. We've done all we can do. And so they basically stopped treating him, and he got better. He's still alive today. He's particular about what he eats, takes decent care of himself, and whatever he had, he still has. He still has this cancer that they told him he has. But heck, he's in his 70s now. But he got better once they stopped treating him. Now, I'm painting with a broad brush. I'm not saying that it's, but if you have a medical situation and a doctor tells you that you have cancer, you really got to look, you got to have you need a second opinion, not from another doctor, but you need to look at it from a different perspective. I've seen enough people go through these things where, there's a lot of wacky alternative stuff out there, but still, you need to look at other things. And if cancer runs in your family, in your circle, so to speak, it's better to look at these things now than wait till something happens. Because I think we know enough now that they can do a lot with cancer as far as treatments. But I think there's still a lot of question marks about what they're doing, and I just don't have a lot of faith in it myself. But I think it would behoove you, if this is a concern of yours, to look into some alternative stuff outside of what the medical field promotes, either cutting, radiating, chemo, this kind of thing. And I'm not get into the details of that, but I mentioned once before, there's a guy here on YouTube, he's a naturopath, I think, but it's Robert Morse ND, I think is the channel. And what interests me about this guy is when he explains what cancer is. And if you believe it, because it makes sense to me, but if you could understand what he's talking about, you can see where the way it's being treated, that's not right. Let me put this up there. It's just to me, it's worth looking into, especially, like I said, if you have a family that's prone to this sort of thing. That's the channel name, I think. Robert Morse ND, M-O-R-I-C. He's all over YouTube. And there's other people out there, but I like what this guy has to say as far as when he explains cancer and how it should be dealt with, and instead of how we are dealing with it. It's pretty scary, but it's pretty interesting how I don't want to give anything away, but if it's interests you, check it out. That's a channel. I can't put a link on this thing, but it would be in your interest. Like, if this is something that concerns you, investigate the alternatives now. Don't wait till a doctor comes and says, "Oh, you got to make your decision. We need to start treating this, and you can't wait." And then you're going to try to do some research, and then not know. To me, it would be something you want to find out ahead of time, not under pressure. And I have had friends that say, "Oh, hey, they're dealing with cancer," and try to lean them towards maybe you're looking at something else. Oh, that stuff's crazy. Okay, all right. I'm gonna break my neck trying to help you out, but you should at least get that a second opinion from an alternative point of view. Because I just don't trust the medical industry as far as cancer is concerned. I don't think. I think there are some doctors now that are seeing things, as far especially what we know now about the human cell. And there are some still doing the stuff that they've done for 25, 30 years. But anyhow, if something about cancer concerns you, look into an alternative. Do it now before it becomes an issue. Now being, when you can make better decisions. But it's just something I would educate myself on. And I said, I like this Robert Morse ND. I just like what he says. Kind of a far out dude. He's in Florida. But I'm sure there's other stuff out there. You'd have to make your own decision. But I've been meaning to make this video. Just, especially because my friend, his grandfather, he's dead. But like the other guy, they stopped treating him. He got better. He's still here. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you. Anyhow, check that out. Think about it. Love you. God bless.